Speaking of keeping an eye on it, did you see this? HBO re-edited the poster. Dom the Bomb clipped this. The fact HBO removed the gun on the official that was in the official poster on the Blu-ray disc after season 1 was released. This is criminal. This was the original poster. Ellie holding the rifle. And then they literally photoshopped it out. Same picture, just photoshopped it so Ellie now has her arm on her backpack. They photoshopped it out. Why? Because she doesn't use the rifle in the show. I don't know if they just forgot to have her use the rifle, but she doesn't use the rifle. Like, I really think what happened with The Last of Us show for season 2 is they were worried if they had Ellie pop off the way she does in the game, that she wouldn't be likable or sympathetic. Radek posted this. Was it too much to ask for The Last of Us season 2 to have one solo Ellie action scene with the same energy as this? And it shows just the sheer chaos that is The Last of Us Part 2, where Ellie is just a mass murdering psychopath. Like, you don't mess with Ellie season 2 or Ellie part 2, you know? You don't mess with Ellie in part 2. She's crazy. And I think they realized how crazy she was, and they didn't think that the more casual audience would be willing to like root for her or give her the time of day. And so they cut pretty much all of this. Like another example is, you know, in the show, Ellie kind of has a mental breakdown after everything that happens with Nora in the hospital. And in the game, like, you are going through absolute hell to get to Nora. And there's a reason for a mental breakdown at the end of that. Makes sense. Let me see if I can find the clip. PS Vita girl. This sequence. Like, you remember how hardcore this is?
You know a girl named Nora?
Sure, yeah.
Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
How hardcore is it for that to happen? And then she just goes, that was dumb, and wipes off the knife and puts it in her pocket and moves on. Like, Ellie in the game, it's pretty clear, like, she is willing to do anything to get her revenge. And then in the show, it's just like way more goofy, more lighthearted, like things are not taken as seriously. I think as a result, like a lot of Ellie's actions, like the change to how Mel goes, where it's just like, oh, she kind of a total accident or whatever. I just think so many of the changes lessen the impact of everything. And some people are like, they changed the writing to accommodate Bella Ramsay and the performance that Bella was giving. Others are saying, no, it was more of a Craig thing where Craig Mazin wanted to change it. I don't know who's to blame. What I do know is that the episodes that Neil Druckmann directed and wrote were the best episodes in the season. Love it or hate it, it's also backed up in the reviews. Like, those were the best episodes of the season. This episodes where he had other people write or direct started to fall off pretty significantly. Might have just been direction, might have been a coincidence, whatever. But the whole thing has just, it's been really impressive to see how they managed to kind of screw it up. And it's really disappointing. I mean, it really is. Because season 1 I thought was really good. And I'm starting to realize now, I think a lot of that heavy lifting came from Pedro Pascal. And once he was kind of out of the way, he wasn't able to carry the show anymore. And so things just didn't work as well. And I don't know. Bella's a very talented performer, but I don't think Bella has the gravitas to carry the show and everything the same way that Ashley Johnson did in the game. And I'm sorry, this is the other piece. I think it's such a cataclysmically stupid mistake to separate off Abby's story as a separate season. After season 2, there's going to be a lot of people who were like, I didn't really like it as much. Season 2, not as good as season 1. And once season 3 happens in a year or a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it is, a lot of them are not going to come back. And if they do, they're going to come back and be watching a show from Abby's perspective and just be like, yeah, I mainly liked Pedro, so I'm good. And a lot of people are going to fall off. A lot of people fell off in the video game. They stopped playing once they got to the Abby sections because like they didn't need it. They were good. They were like, I know what you're doing. I know you're trying to manipulate me. See how everything is just, everybody's wrong. Everything sucks. I know what you're doing. I'm not interested. And they just gave it up. I had buddies from college that gave it up once they were forced to start playing as Abby. And that was in a single game where like that scene takes place the moment after the previous one where you're controlling Ellie. Imagine if you asked them to wait a year and a half. They almost definitely are not coming back. So I just think, you know, that was a major blunder. Major blunder. And I think we'll see it once, you know, season 3 launches. And it's not to say, I think it's Kaitlyn Dever is the actress. It's not to say she's not amazingly talented. I'm sure she is. But I just think in terms of structuring the show, it was a massive blunder to separate by a season. I think they should have extended it, made the season way bigger, go for 14 episode seasons, even if it gave HBO a heart attack, and just do it that way. I cannot fathom why they thought this was a good idea, other than they're just trying to stretch it. To be fair, though, Kaitlyn Dever is going to carry it. She's such a good actress. I mean, maybe this is all part of a broader, big brain 4D chess thing to just be like, oh, people don't like Bella Ramsey as Ellie. Well, now people are going to be rooting for Kaitlyn Dever. They're going to be rooting for Abby. Problem solved. And they just flip it. Maybe that's part of the grand plan. I don't know. Sadly, I think Kaitlyn will carry season 3 better than Bella did in season 2. It's very likely, but I think still broadly the themes and the story is going to have an impact. We looked at it on stream, some of the clips from people who had never played the games, like a lot of teenagers and college students were filming their parents and like their mom watching The Last of Us show for the first time and watching episode 1, 2, and 3 of season 2. And they just are like, wait, what? I don't want to watch this anymore. Like just immediately hands in the air. I'm not interested. And I think that that's only going to continue once they try to force people to watch, you know, from Ellie's or from Abby's perspective. So I just think, I don't know. I think the structuring was at the end of the day was one of the major problems with The Last of Us Part 2 in game form. And I think that the way they've set up the show is even worse. I think it's even worse. I think there were ways to structure it where it made more sense, but I don't think they should have stretched it out like this. And now Craig Mazin is like, yeah, I think we really need a 4th season. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that he gets paid almost certainly per episode. So I'm sure it has nothing to do with that. But if they stretch this to 4 seasons and it's like 3 of them are the second game, what are we doing? Like, it's just such a waste, and it's going to just cause people to fall off. They somehow made the pacing issues worse. Well, it's weird. Like the second season feels both way too long and way too short. Like they spend time on a lot of stupid stuff that doesn't feel consequential, and then they spend less time on the important stuff. So it feels too long and too short at the same time, and it just like I just don't know what they were doing. The whole thing was a bit of a mess. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know, man. It's too bad because again, I love the show, season 1, but they really blew it, in my opinion.